Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm gonna be going over my trade recap from today and then going over a couple other setups. So, my only play today was I said gonna try to shorten this with a 4-point stop. Okay, and you can see what happens when we go into that. So, my target was low of day, and we ended up hitting low day. Here was the fair value gap, and we kind of got that the three candle setup. So 1, 2, 3 with a fair value gap in the middle. If we draw the fib, it almost touches the 0.75 and it was above 0.5, which means it was above premium. And then it was also supported by an order block. So these are my favorite kind of setups. So one supported by an order block, the one with the 3 down candles, and the middle one is the fair value gap, and the other ones really aren't. As you can see, it's tiny fair value gap right here that we ended up projecting at first to hit low day, but again, I would prefer taking this one a little better. So we ended up hitting that. We hit low day. We had equal lows down here, so that was why I was so confident of hitting this. And then look what happens next. We have the box setup. So I never alerted this, but we can see sell side hit on our short setup, and then we have the box setup right here. And I haven't gone over the box setup a lot, but it's a setup where we are in a range, and what happens is if we really dump below and then pump back up, that means you're looking for a long entry out of the range. If we pump up and then we dump again, then you're looking for a short setup, because a lot of people or retail traders are going to go short after saying, oh, we just did a giant dump down, everyone's short the retrace. But no, it's a box setup, and you have to keep in mind when it is the box setup versus when it's just like a random dump out of nowhere. Because we were in a tight range before this I would consider this the box setup. And then look what happens. We also have the 5-minute BPR. So right here we have the 5-minute BPR. Or not the 5-minute, I think the 3-minute. Let me just double check for you guys real quick. Yeah, so we have a 3-minute VPR, and we ended up bouncing out of that, and it was not in discount, which is not great, and there was not really a good market structure shift. So it was a BPR, it was a box setup, and I would say it did look like the buy model. So those are 3 reasons alone to take this, but unfortunately there was no market structure shift, and it never actually hit discount, and this was the entry I was trying to get, but I never got it. So I wouldn't say this is an A++ setup, but it's still like you should still recognize it as a box setup, and I know some people did take this today despite those reasons. So that was the other play. And then from end of day, we ended up projecting this fair value gap nicely. It didn't go that far. This is more of a retrace. And what I wanted to see happen was, I'm sure some other people watching, what I wanted to see happen was I wanted to retrace down here. Okay? So I wanted to retrace down here off of this 1-minute fair value gap. And as you can see, we never even got it. So this is also 5-minute BPR too. We never actually got it, unfortunately. So the next time we did come down here, I did look to long, and you can see in this scenario, if you got, my limit was at 3956, but I ended up canceling it before it came down here because it was close on a day and I was in class. We ended up going about 6 points off that, so not very volatile, but this was another play. And then we also had this, so this was, I think, good to recognize. We had this, okay, so we hit this liquidity up here. We have a market structure shift right here, and then boom, we have this fair value gap, okay, and as you can see, we have a little inducement model going on. So we actually came up to this twice, and we rejected it. So that's your inducement model. You would have taken puts here or shorted there, and then sell side is down here. This is your target, and you can see it ended up hitting sell side for a nice play. And ideally, it would have been nice to go down here, but if you look at the 5-minute time frame, it was that fair value gap. So I'm sure some people long this fair value gap, and where do you put your stop if you long this fair value gap? You put your stop under this low. So as you can see, it never even came close to this low. Technically, we did have a break of structure up right here, as you can see, and it was pretty energetic. So that does look more bullish rather than completing the sell model, even though we did get the market structures down. But the rejection of, or the bounce off of this fair value gap was not as clean as I liked. We ended up knifing through it, going down, and then bouncing again. And we did reject this fair value gap. This was a nice play. So right here and right here is a nice play. So this was kind of interesting price action at the end of the day. Don't be kind of upset if you didn't get this perfect, because I didn't even play this. The only valid short I saw was this right here to go down to my long entry, and as you can see, the long entry worked for a few points, and then it went below and then above again. So this right here is kind of pretty sloppy in my opinion. So yeah, that was today. For tomorrow, I did have a bearish bias this morning, but my target's already kind of hit. So I was targeting these equal lows, these relative equal lows, and then these relative equal lows. So we're going to see what happens. We have low resistance liquidity above. So I can definitely see us breaking over this trend line. And some of you guys might be like, oh, this is a bull flag. And yes, this is kind of a bull flag, but I would prefer this to not break out of the bull flag, because we are not even close to discount, okay? And I would like to see us go into this 0.5. But the issue is this is a liquidity void. So if we do get this far down here, we're probably going to end up dumping down here. So we'll have to see what happens. Honestly, if we break out of this trend line, I'll definitely look to long. But for now, I'm just waiting. So yeah, that was kind of the recap of today. Let me know if you have any questions. Join my Discord. I have 18 wins and 1 loss currently this month. So I guess that's not bad. But again, I was trying to go perfect with no losses. But you can't always do that. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Join my Discord. I'm always in trading chat. If you want to shoot or shout, give me a shout. So yeah, other than that, enjoy the rest of your night, guys. Peace.